Well, good morning to our member community and our global family tuned in from far and wide. I'm Dr. Nadine Rogers, and I am deeply grateful to be able to share the principles of living a spiritual life with you. Our theme for April is Stepping into the Unknown, where we get to explore the ebb and flow of both personal and spiritual realization and revelation as a path of becoming an open and receptive conduit for the wholeness of spirit to pour forth. Here at CSL Parker, we learn how to apply practical spirituality to our everyday lives based upon the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes called The Science of Mind and Spirit. Now, Dr. Holmes summarizes his teaching as a correlation of the laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of world religions applied to human needs and the aspirations of man. Now, we do live in a spiritual universe, and therefore we are spiritual beings having a very sacred human experience. But we come together in community to remember and remind each other that everything we think we need or lack is always right within us. Together, we learn to be a student with humility and awe in the vast power for good within us and within this world. We come to understand that ours is to walk each other home, and that we teach by how we live, and that how we live becomes our prayer. The Center for Spiritual Living honors all faith traditions. So let us begin our time together by lighting the candle, the unity candle, in honor of all faiths. We light this candle knowing that we are all on the path to God or the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit or infinite intelligence. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all diverse faiths, thought, and experience, which again we honor here today. As I acknowledge both my multiplicity and my unity, I come to a place of inner peace, and I hope that our offering today brings that inner peace to each one of you. So knowing that the truth of all life is sourced and present right here, we know you are blessed right now. So sit back and relax and enjoy your time with us. Beginning with what's happening at CSL Parker.
Good morning, everyone, and a happy Easter to you. I hope the Easter Bunny has hopped by your house and left you with the gifts of joy, love, happiness, prosperity, and abundance. And we have a wonderful way to top off your Easter celebration. Come connect with fellow CSL friends at our Peace Walk. We will convene in person at 1:45 at Discovery Park in front of the library and walk to O'Brien Park. Or, if you prefer, you can meet us at the gazebo at O'Brien Park and join us for special guest speakers and music by the CSL Parker team. Also, I am delighted to announce that we will begin meeting on the second and fourth Sunday of each month in person at Cimarron Middle School. We will be practicing social distancing. Ask that you bring your own chairs for your own safety. However, chairs will be provided if you're not able to bring your own. Masks will be required by the school and state. And yippee! Our youth group will be meeting. So I will see you next Sunday at Cimarron. Dr. Nadine's class, The Art of Letting Go, is still accepting enrollments. Sign up today for this late afternoon class on Thursdays. You will deepen your understanding of how to arrive at a spiritual solution for every challenge in your life and learn to center in your capacity to respond to life in a healthy way. Dr. Nadine will guide you through this experience and show you how to hold space for yourself and become a sacred witness in your life. Also, Dr. Nadine's newest class, Manifesting a New Reality, will be held on Sunday, April 18th, 12 to 2 p.m. Come find out what needs tweaking in your efforts to manifest a new reality. Gain clarity and align with your values and learn to manifest through the secret connection of the I Am. And don't forget about Common Ground on the first and third Wednesdays of each month. Join us this month in preliminary conversations about how we can build a common ground of understanding and what a world that works for everyone might look like. Reverend Phil will be hosting these meaningful discussions. I hope to see you there. And now let's sit back and enjoy some music and a meditation.
I am one with God. I choose the joy of God. I practice the peace of God. I give the love of God. I am one with God. I choose the joy of God. I practice the peace of God. I give the love of God. I am one with God. I choose the joy of God. I practice the peace of God. I give the love of God. I am one with God. I choose the joy of God. Practice the peace of God. I give the love of God. I am one with God. I choose the joy of God. I practice the peace of God. I give the love of God. I am one with God. I choose the joy of God. Practice the peace of God. I give the love of God. I am
As we relax into this peaceful space of knowing, we're going to begin by taking 3 purposeful breaths. Let's take one long, deep breath and hold it gently, becoming centered in this peaceful space. And now release that breath ever so slowly. While taking in the next deep breath, let's breathe in gratitude for this beautiful, beautiful day. And as we slowly release this breath, release any tension, any difficulties, any worries that you have been dealing with. Just let them go. Let them go. Watch them float away in the soft wings of Spirit's everlasting love. And as we breathe in this 3rd breath, breathe in the knowing that all is well, that you are safe, that you are loved, that you are held in the wings of God's presence. All is well. And now as you release that breath slowly, you are releasing any old negative thoughts that may linger. Let's just be. Today is a new day. Breathe that in. Today is a new day. Such gratitude I have for all that is. And so it is. Namaste.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Well, good morning once again. We're here to remember who and whose we are this day as we begin exploring April's theme, Stepping into the Unknown. But first, a little levity. Where did the Easter Bunny go to school? Sorry? Nope, John Hopkins University. All right, see if you can get this one. What happened to the Easter Bunny when he misbehaved in school? Right, he was expelled. Thank you. You know, it's said that in order to live fully, we must laugh, perhaps groan, and we must not be afraid of death. In truth, it is more the process of dying that most fear. If our spirit is eternal in the one, then we are immortal, not just able to access or orchestrate our next yet to be. This being true, the cycle of birth death is ongoing while living in this temporal world of condition. And we can be open to allow this natural creative process in order to feel more alive. Can we not? You know, Dr. Ernest Holmes created the following as one of his statements found within the Declaration of Principles upon which he comprised his text entitled The Science of Mind and Spirit. And this is one of his tenets. He says, "We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding." Now, this is a powerful image which calls forth our faith, except when we cannot figure out how or when um, our life is supposed to unfold, right? And as we find ourselves in a permanent ping pong game from faith to fear and back to faith again, you know, can we bookmark a page that might say, "We live in a spiritual system, operating through the divine order of the law of its natural being. As a spiritual being within which is sourced an infinite creative resource to manifest whatever reality we choose." Can we rip that page out and stick it to our foreheads, or better still, tuck it inside our hearts? You know, as today we're celebrating the gift given, each of us over millennial, through the biblical story of the death and resurrection of Jesus, the Christ, I would like to begin with a metaphysical interpretation of the previous Sunday of what for many faith traditions is known as Palm Sunday. And I like to use this context from expectation to disappointment to disillusionment. The Palm Sunday story displays the transition from expectation to disappointment in technicolor. The triumph becomes the trial, and the trial becomes an execution. At the start, the crowd embraces Jesus with dopamine levels soaring and shouts, "Save us now." As soon as Jesus turns out to be something other than the Savior they expected, their hosannas morph into crucifying him. I think this is important because we all have false gods that we turn to make possible or responsible for changing the conditions of our lives. And when the God of our understanding or imagining does not meet our expectations and instead meets our needs, we become suspect and seek another God. Let's face it, no one wants vegetables when they're craving candy. Now, there are times that we want a God that satisfies our desires, whether or not those align with our needs, right? There just are. And we welcome God or a philosophy, a teaching, a path into our lives with anticipation, with expectation. You know, we're laying down cloaks and we're waving palm branches with all we've got. But when God or the teaching turns out effects that we don't recognize or like, we scatter like smoke in the wind. Now, moving into today's message, leave no stone unturned. In the creation and experience of our unique journey, it's about doing our work by knowing that it is the one and only true spiritual path into the sacred expression and experience of life's wholeness and perfection. Having said that, we will continue to back away from doing the work if we think someone else will do it, or if we want someone else to do it for us. Just give me the answer. Tell me what you want to do and I will do it. If we follow another's lead, advice, example, and not do the work, it takes for us to die to a false belief of ourselves so that we may resurrect our truth. Then we will constantly create expectation and disappointment. One cannot metaphysically speak to the death and resurrection story without weaving in what preceded it. So please allow me once again to circle back to the idea of Palm Sunday for a moment. You know, one of the most interesting features of this story to me is how much preparation Jesus does. He lines up everything, you know, making sure to trigger the crowd's expectations. It's like Jesus has hired a PR agency, you know, indicating that he knows exactly what he is stirring up. But why? Is he trying to disappoint them? Well, perhaps he is trying to disillusion them. Disillusionment is, well, the loss of an illusion. It is what happens when you take a lie about the world, about yourself, about those you love, about God, and replace it with the truth. Disillusionment occurs when God shatters our fantasies, tears down our idols, and dismantles our cardboard cutouts. It occurs when we discover that God does not conform to our expectations, but rather exists as a mystery beyond those expectations. Disillusionment can be a very sacred experience. That cuts our overactive ego down, I would say, to size, but reminds us that our playing small doesn't serve us either in this expansive universe. These experiences are often painful, but never bad, because they make us shed the lies we've mistaken for truth. In disillusionment, we find out what is not true, and we're set free to seek what is, if we dare, to turn away from the false gods where we have placed our power in order to seek the power and presence of God operating within, through, and by means of us. Ultimately, the triumphal entry is not about donkeys and palm branches at all. It's a reminder that placing expectations on God based on our ego wants is a recipe for resentment. But nurturing openness to divine mystery is a framework for faith. Metaphysically speaking, we do not view the crucifixion as a great tragedy, but a step towards a great victory. You know, Jesus in his words tells us that the message of the crucifixion is very clear. Judas was simply playing a part as a catalyst so that Jesus could demonstrate the unreality of death. If we use this as a metaphor around the belief we have in separation, that which we name Judas in our lives won't be able to stop us dead in our tracks. And we will be consciously choosing to ride the wave of discovery of our own humanity and our divinity and our immortality all together at once. You know, I like to look at immortality as being about each and every one of us have to understand and appreciate that there is never an ending to any story. The opportunity for us to enjoy what is present and what is there before us is really what the story of Easter is all about. It's about rising above the conditions we see in our lives and understanding that they are temporary. So I have another Easter Sunday bunny joke for you. It's kind of a story. A bald man was cruising along the freeway when he noticed the Easter bunny hopping along the middle of the road. and he quickly swerved to avoid hitting Easter Bunny. But unfortunately, the Easter Bunny jumped right in front of his truck. Well, the Easter Bunny and his basket full of chocolate Easter eggs went flying all over the highway. Now, the bald man driving, being the type of guy that cares for animals, pulled over to the side of the freeway, got out to see what had become of the Easter Bunny. And much to his dismay, the colorful bunny was stone cold dead. The driver felt so guilty, and he began to cry out loud. A beautiful woman was driving down the same freeway and saw the man crying on the side of the road and pulled over. She jumped out of her car and asked the man what was the matter. I feel so terrible. I'm sorry, I'm just going to start to laugh here. I, I accidentally ran over the Easter Bunny and now it's dead. There may not be an Easter ever again because of me. I don't know what to do. Well, the beautiful woman told the bald man, don't worry. She knew exactly what to do and thought she could bring the bunny back to life. Now he looked at her rather quizzically through his tears. So she went to her car and she pulled out a weird looking spray can that the bald man had never seen before. She walks over to the limp, dead bunny and sprayed the entire contents of the can onto the little furry animal. Miraculously, the Easter Bunny came back to life, jumped up, picked up all the spilled Easter eggs and Easter candy, waved its lucky foot at the bald man and the beautiful lady, and hopped down the road 50 meters, where he stopped, turned around, waved, and hopped down the road another 50 meters, where he turned, waved, and hopped down another 50 meters, and waved again, and so on. Well, now the bald man was absolutely astonished. Shaking his head and wiping his eyes, he said to the beautiful woman, what in good heaven's name is in your spray can? What was it that you sprayed on the Easter Bunny? Well, the woman turned the can around so that the man could read the label. And it said, hairspray, restores life to dead hairs, adds a permanent wave. I'm sorry, I know that was bad. Oh my goodness. But you know what? Perhaps this Holy Week will mark the place in your story when you yourself can commit to restore life to those places in you that feel dead, or where you made a conscious decision to allow something within you that does not bring you a sense of sacred connection with life to die. So, what part of me needs to be resurrected? And what part of me needs to die today? And what part of me has been hanging on to the cross too long? One of our well-known artists in the New Thought movement, Jamie Lula, wrote a piece on his Facebook sharing this. And this was some time ago. But I recorded it and I wanted to share it with you today. He said, I am going to sing at a memorial tomorrow for one of my sweet teens who at the ripe old age of 26 decided his life was no longer worth living and walked in front of a train. My heart shattered when I heard of this tragedy, he said. He said, I have felt like my life was not worth living for various reasons, many times. Someone who has never experienced these feelings cannot understand what it is like to feel this way. He says, I know feelings aren't facts. And when I have felt this way for whatever reason, there seems to be only one solution. I have not taken that option, regardless of what I have felt. I've learned how to be with the feelings, not well, so much of the time, but I stay. And I'm grateful I have chosen to stay because regardless, life is beautiful. Life is a blessing. I am a blessing, even when I don't feel like it. So when I read Jamie's Facebook post, I asked myself, so what part of me do I need to take off the cross? Yeah. What part of me no longer serves the greater good? Jamie concluded his post with this. He says, so for my sweet souls of our brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, allies and others who walk in front of that train. I love you. I honor you. I hold for your greatest next yet to be. May your next breath be holy. May your next steps be within. May your love find you waiting. May your heaven be found again. Now, I know that we have touched into the sadness and pain of our brothers and sisters of varying race, religious, or different orientations who have been belittled and berated, and most of us who have been beholden to a norm that is not normal or healthy. So I ask myself again, how will my decisions today leave no stone unturned in my own life? How will they make a difference in a world full of diverse expression and seeming paradox, with no answer in sight, but only this ongoing, never-ending mystery? How will my decisions to leave no stone unturned in my own life make a difference? You know, we're not built on sand, even though we spend a lot of time playing in the muck. So what is ours to do? How do we leave no stone unturned? We allow that which is not life affirming die. Let me say that again. We allow that which is not life affirming die, so that we may be less resistant and more open to new life, revealing itself in our expression of who we are being. We carry the secret place of the Most High wherever we go. There's no place other than that which is within us, where you go to pray. There is no place other than those places where it isn't living. There's only one point of contact, and it's within your convictions. And that is within your own self, within your own soul. Right? That is where the sacred and secret place of the Most High live. So where in your life are you stuck in embracing your own humanity? Let us take action in not leaving that stone unturned. Let us right now shift our awareness by inviting in the guidance of Spirit, our divine wisdom within, by receiving, not resisting, the infinite creative intelligence. Just take a cleansing breath with me in this moment and just sense, if you would, the presence of unconditional love within and around you. As you breathe, just relax wherever you are and close your eyes if you wish. And just take a few deep breaths with me, knowing that Spirit is breathing you, and feel the sensation of all and any kind of tension just releasing from your body into this beautiful, rich, loving experience of the One. And ask yourself that question again. Where is it within me that I'm presently not leaving a stone unturned? Where can I leave that stone unturned? Where can I live life more fully? Trusting the beautiful life-death cycle in its divine perfection. Where am I not living for the greatest good of all? Just take another deep breath. You know, as the story continues, in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus wrestled with his own fears and embraced his own divinity. And he goes up to pray, leaving the others in the garden, and he comes down, and others are still sleeping. And he did this 3 times. 3 times. That says to me, Spirit is willing, but often the flesh is weak. You know, often our ego has us fall asleep when we are intending to take action, to awaken to our Christ consciousness. But for me, Jesus' defining moment came in that garden because he knew there that I and the Father are one. And that knowing remained with him, and he knew what was his to do. So live your life fully, express your humanity fully, express your divine humanity fully, even when, and most especially, in the muck. In those times when you feel like giving up or crucifying yourself or others, or when you can't see the forest for the trees. We all know when we're called, as Dr. Andrea had said last month, on the brink of everything, to that brink, to that threshold, to that crack that we can see new life through. May we remember to move past disappointment from expectations in our false God or false gods and pause on disillusionment, knowing that we have the presence and capacity to let go the illusion of less than, and remember that death is an unreality and that the promise of resurrection cannot be found in books alone, but in the overturning of every leaf in springtime. It shall all come to pass. All adversity, uncomfortableness, unappreciation, or suppressed aspects of self will come to pass on the path of self-awareness and love. Just like all wonderful, great experiences, people, and achievements come to pass in order to create a void, which will never remain, as God does not know a void. Neither the Messiah nor the God of our understanding is our answer to a life of meaning. Doing our work is. For you and I have been put here as the vessel through which, as which, the divine expresses and experiences itself. This is ours to remember, not just at this time of year when the world celebrates the Holy Week, but in all those many holy moments we mistakenly describe as ordinary or without meaning. Life is precious just as it is. We are precious just as we are. God is blessing you now, and so it is. Amen. I invite you into a personal investment called Sacred and Faithful Giving, knowing that there is an infinite flow of prosperity and abundance that is operating in and through us at all times, no matter our present circumstances. We can open to expand our consciousness of acceptance by giving with a grateful heart. And when our souls are fed in this way by the practice of giving, we can be certain that our gift blesses both the giver and the receiver many, many times over. And so we receive and appreciate your gifts and your tithes. And we thank you so much for supporting us to remain a vital and thriving center in which all of us can find our spiritual nourishment. So for your convenience, we do provide you with various ways in which to make your donation. You may donate on our website, www.cslparker.org/donate, or via Zelle, or if you are more comfortable mailing in a check, please do so to this office location on your screen. I invite you now to affirm your prosperity through the power of your own word by saying this together with me. I attract all good things into being. The power of my faith enhances my experience of health, relationship, finance, fulfillment, passion, purpose, and joy. The creative source in my life is in a constant state of perfection, freely giving itself as my bounty. And so it is. We're so glad you're connecting with us today because together we raise the vibrational energy of love and send it out globally to help create a world that works for everyone. And now, please enjoy our offering song.
2, 3, 4. Talent, time, and treasure is what we have to give. It's what we have to share, and how we live in the law of circulation, just passing on the gift. The talent, time, and treasure, we are blessed. We are blessed. Talent, time, and treasure is what we have to give. It's what we have to share, and how we live in the law of circulation, just passing on the gift. With talent, time, and treasure, we are blessed. We are blessed. Sing it one more time. Talent, time, and treasure is what we have to give. It's what we have to share, and how we live in the law of circulation, just passing on the gift. Talent, time, and treasure, we are blessed. We are blessed.
Let us join together in prayer. Oh my, we've been blessed by everyone's presence here today and the presence of all those who came together this morning from far and wide. All is well here. You know, as we continue to shift and change and welcome through welcoming our own curiosity and our courage to ask the deeper questions, we remember to take that gentle pause and see where we might feel disillusionment that lies within us. And it is in this moment that we can more lovingly embrace our humanity, our sacred humanity, our divine humanity, and the divinity in all living things. It is in this moment that we breathe deeply in gratitude for the life we have been given, and for the knowledge that spirit is present, accessible, and moving within the life of all humanity in perfect right action, guiding us and it in ways to unconditionally nourish and support ourselves, because we are the gift of God. And in this, we leave no stone unturned. We affirm our capacity to live with unparalleled faith in the divine creative process, which unfolds in our lives right now, and joyfully give the fullness of ourselves to whatever and whenever without measure. Isn't this wonderful? We take each breath and make it an opportunity to affirm the presence of the Most High, expressing and experiencing itself right where we are. Oh, life is such a blessing. Thank you, Spirit. We are a blessing. It is a blessing, all of it. And so it is. Amen.
If you love somebody, better tell them why they're here, 'cause they just may run away from you. You'll never know quite when, well, then again it just depends on how long the time is left for you. I've had the highest mountains, I've had the deepest river. You can have it all, but now keep moving. I'll take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top.